My name's Timothy Renner, and the band name is Stone. Most of the bands are, I think you would say, blues-based in one way or another. Our band, Stone Breath, is more folk-based. We come out of traditional folk music, which there is some blues in that, absolutely, but it's not our main thrust. You'll be seeing harp and lutes as well as cigar box instruments. Bluegrass is a three-finger style, and most of the time when people talk about banjo, that's what they're talking about. When they just say, oh, I play banjo, it usually means bluegrass and it usually means fingerstyle.
A claw hammer, it's all down picking with your fingernails and your thumb. Some people use 3 fingers and they'll hit with all 3. I tend to just use 2 fingers mostly.
Clawhammer predates bluegrass. It was in the mountains. Some people believe it came from the Civil War era. A lot of people think it's basically an African style of playing, and it came from Africa with the instrument. And I believe it came from northern Africa. There's an instrument called a gimbri. I have banjos that my father bought me at yard sales. I have cigar box banjos, Civil War banjos. I have other banjos that date from the 1800s. I have quite a collection. My wife and I have a running joke that there has to be a 2-to-1 banjo to human ratio in our house. So when there's kids born, more banjos need to come. I came to music late in life. I didn't play music from a teenager. I didn't have a family that was very supportive of me getting into music, so really, as an adult, I bought my first instruments. I taught myself how to play to a point. I learned clawhammer from a local guy named Bob Buckingham. He was the only guy around at the time who did it. He now lives in North Carolina. Without specifically going at it in a sense of I want to learn in a traditional way, I ended up learning in a very traditional way. I basically sat at Bob's knee and watched him play and picked it up from him, and I'm nowhere near as good as him, but he's who I learned from. So for me, it's been a very sort of traditional folk music way of learning. I learned to write songs from listening to folk songs, traditional folk songs. That's how I learned to write music. I don't know what it was. Before that, I listened to crazy, heavy music, the most obnoxious music I could find. And at some point in my 20s, I found folk music and it was like coming home. I just said, this is it. This is where I want to be. And that's when I started playing music as well.